honestly.
We're getting into the match though, and here these two kick it off, already starting off with just like a couple of crouch dashes, mixing in with back dashes. And I think that's one of the most important things to mention about Kazuya when it comes to like his entire like game plan, because his character wants to approach. That's what he's built to do. But you mix that in with auto turnaround back dash, which is arguably the best back dash you could have. It's not Kazuya's isn't the best, it's Ken's, but it's still insanely good, and then you mix it in with this stuff.
Yep. Went for the first tech there, but just missing it a little bit. And honestly, so far, this bike play has been really impressive. Like, SBF is forcing Petayaa to nair these bikes when he's throwing them and just get free stage control, and then has been able to catch juggles and really force Kazuya to play in the air so much more than he'd ordinarily want to.
Yeah, seeing a bunch of back and forth, utilizing the bike as a means of extending Wario's range just a little bit and setting up with the timing very nicely, throwing that bike on placement and then getting the extension of the hurt box as well as the call out with that back air on the neutral getup.
Yeah, no, it puts him between a rock and a hard place. It forces the Kazuya either to shield or crouch dash perfectly, but with how big bike is, it can be kind of hard to crouch dash through. And now Petayaa finding a grab, but being at ledge, running out of room to find that combo extension. And SBF going to get out of jail for free just a second, trying to find his way back down the stage, but Kazuya is not going to have the ability to contest Wario, who still has both those jumps on the platform. Now just both players looking for some neutral. None of these electrics have been able to hit. Petayaa just keeps finding a shield. And not just a standard God Fist coming out. At this point, Petayaa just trying to find any way to get something started.
Oh, getting the wrong hit of Waft there, but hey, Petayaa, that's just all free damage. Oh, just going in with the rolling crush with this, it's the Shoryu input, but press B instead, and it's such a surprising option that you can catch people with sometimes, especially given its horizontal nature. And I mean, the classic electric into up B, catching SBF, jumping just a little bit too much in his face. And now with Rage Drive online for at least another 30% or 20% or so, you've got a little bit of time to work with and a lot of damage to play with.
Yeah, I mean, Kazuya up B is so incredibly good. Like, that move is very silly, but speaking of, that Rage Drive gonna go away. Petayaa not really able to get off platform, but gonna find a way back with some crouch dashes and electric, not able to find the combo. And so far, just SBF has not really gotten comboed, has been able to really keep Petayaa on these platforms in the air, and just not able to let him get anything started.
Yeah, it's so tricky, right? Because you saw Petayaa get the hit and want to extend off of it and want to do like the full like nair spiking combo. However, he's got to take advantage of not just when Rage Drive is online, but also when Kazuya has Rage. That throws off your combo tree pretty immensely. Being ready for that is so important, since on hit is everything for Kazuya. As you see there, getting the wrong hit of nair, trying to use these fairs a little bit more to control a lot more space, and I like that a lot from them, really changing their game plan.
Yeah, no, really good stuff from both players here so far. One adjustment SBF has made is as Petayaa has started to throw out more fairs to try and control that space, we see SBF looking for these back airs, which we've already seen in this game beat out Kazuya fair. Not a lot of moves can really say that. And not a lot of characters can say they can survive a Wario F-tilt at ledge, even with being the 10th heaviest character in the game. Yeah, Kazuya is not able to get away from that slop.
I mean, we saw that a couple times, right? Like, Petayaa had two options, had two, like, general modes when he came to off-ledge. It's like, I'm going to jump into Nair or Nair Electric and, like, try and catch you being overzealous on your ledge jump, or I'm going to neutral get up into something like a crash dash or another electric. Like, the game plan is very centralized at that point. And you know what covers both of them? Both F-tilt and back air. So there you go. SBF already just having a 0 in on his win conditions for the game, being floaty, being annoying, and finding both confirms and solid ledge traps to close out stocks. As we move over to Hollow Bastion for Game 2.
Yeah, well, and this, I mean, Hollow Bastion, you get a little bit more, you get that big center ground space to look with. Those platforms not super close to ledge, though, meaning Kazuya doesn't necessarily get land mix-ups at a disadvantage, but also means Wario doesn't have as many places to catch his landing. And that center plat gonna maybe perhaps give him more options to try and find some first tech to find some tech chases, but he has to actually get into an advantage state first. Not able to find his way, no, just barely back to stage. That was a great route from.
You know, as much as I love looking at the players right now, yeah, like transitioning over to this stain might be a little bit stronger as we get to see the first stock drop from a dash attack from SBF. To carry off of what you were saying about Hollow Bastion, like not only is the blast into the platform extremely well, but because of the fact that this is a long stage and the platform is still accessible, many Kazuya players have been calling this like one of their better stages, arguably their second best after FD, and one that people have got to start realizing because of how good FD is. This stage is often left open, and comboing off of it and playing on it, it just tends to allow Kazuya to extend and hold and control his neutral just as good as before.
I'm a little surprised that they have this stage over Kalos, but maybe that's just me. And there again is that rolling crush, right? Finding the hit, but not going to close out the stock. And you see Petayaa just starting to get a little bit antsy. The falling up air going to combo into the half waft. Really good stuff from SBF to find that opening. You don't see it too often anymore, but the gates of hell going to close it out. Petayaa finally getting one on the board.
Yeah, no bike access meant that the absolutely ridiculous angle that Gate Bell sends out did close out the stock without much issue whatsoever. Oh, there's a grab into electric, low rage as well, so you get this combo started too. No, he went for the read. He went for the reset in order to guarantee the stock and did not find it. Petayaa throwing away all of that advantage, but it's okay, electric.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sometimes you just gotta go for it, right? Sometimes you just you start feeling yourself and you want to be cool. You don't want to just hit your bread and butters. And Petayaa really showing you why, right? You always gotta practice. You always gotta be willing to just sometimes take what you can get, especially when you're down. Because if you don't, you might never get another opportunity. Certainly, what it seems like right now is Petayaa hasn't really been able to find another advantage state since.
Not yet. Going with the second roll on, finding the up B, trying to utilize the damage multiplier from the Rage Drive. Gives you that extra 1.1 times boost. And holding on to it for this long with another 30% to go. Okay, much less than that now. You gotta burn this Rage Drive soon to recapture that damage. But instead, deciding to jump. Doesn't close out the stock quite yet, but you're in an awful, awful position. And that'll seal the deal.
Yeah, he was forced to air dodge there, but he wasn't necessarily forced to air dodge in that position. He could have drifted further in and tried to air dodge up the ledge. Not necessarily a better choice, but would have at least forced more of a commitment from SBF first. So that being said, right, when your back's against the wall like that, especially when your recovery is limited, getting creative with your routes can be so hard. Because oftentimes you have to take a hit, or you have to burn resources in really weird places that you're like, no, this is bad. Or you have to read what your opponent's going to do and then like say, okay, they're going to hit me here. It's not going to kill. Fine. Let's go next. So unfortunate from Petayaa not able to find a way back to save, but really good stuff from both players on that set.
Yeah, I think Petayaa really was able to get a better grasp on the Wario matchup as it went on. However, they just fell behind the 8-ball and a little bit too early, because what I love about how SBF approached Wario there was sometimes you need the most important thing in the Kazuya matchup is the lead, so you can safely run away from him and play the whiff punish game. So sometimes you just got to cash out early. Go with the half wafts when you first get the opportunity. Go with the game plan that allows you to avoid interacting instead of trying to save these for the most opportune time, the most opportune punish. It's like, nah, I've got the up air half waft, I'm going to go for it. Nah, I've got this combo right here, I'm going to go for it. I'm not going to try and take any risks with a character you cannot get crazy with.
And speaking of taking risks, I mean, we've got two characters that are familiar with kind of the opposite, right? Both these characters, we've got Justin, and both these players are very familiar with just